So my plasma cutter has an exhaust problem. It does well with solids, but particles, man, they go straight through it. It really needs some Pepto-Bismol. My plasma cutter has a fan system in it which pulls all the smoke and dust out when you're cutting, and it's called a downdraft, and it's super important both for my lungs and to keep metal dust from getting airborne, where it coats every surface. I swear this stuff is like a gold leaf. 1 gram of it will coat an entire football field. The downdraft itself works great, and as expected, it exhausts a lot of metal dust out onto my driveway into the shop floor. I had some ideas when I was designing the downdraft to hopefully catch some of the dust, but I decided I should kick the can down the road and see how bad the dust situation is. Well, I've caught up with the can, and the dust situation is bad enough that I think I should fix it. The idea that I've had stuck in my head is to use some kind of cyclonic separator. The basic idea is that you force the air to follow a trajectory that the particles in the air can't due to their momentum. This hopefully makes them fall out of the airstream and not get exhausted. It's sort of like in sports when someone jukes an opponent. You want the air to do the juking and the particle to bubble past and land in the penalty box. That analogy I don't think is actually useful. This is my cyclonic dust collector. It's made for sawdust. It has an inlet port over here, and the geometry of this area here makes a vortex. Things that are heavy get thrown to the outside and fall down into this bin at the bottom, and then the air gets sucked up through a tube in the middle and over and exhausted through this filter. 99% of the dust falls down into this bin rather than going into the filter and clogging it. This very small amount that does make it through gets captured in this bag at the bottom. There's probably about a teaspoon of dust in here, and this is from vacuuming up at least 1 full bin of material. This is what's going on inside of the cyclonic separator. Air and dust get sucked in through this hole. They spin around here. The dust, because it has more mass, can't make this radius of a turn, so it strikes the wall, slows down, and then falls out the bottom. Then the air gets pulled up through the middle out into the air filter on the side. This is the way I'd like the plasma cutter filter to work. It's nice because there's not any filters required. It's just a geometry thing. Also, keep in mind that these fans are moving a lot of air. They're moving about 6,000 cubic feet of air per minute, which is a massive amount. To put that into perspective, it would basically be removing all of the air from my garage every 1.5 to 2 minutes. This is why just putting a small filter won't work. You can't get enough flow through it. It has too much resistance. Filters can work, but you need big, expensive ones. My experience with big, expensive industrial things, they also have a long lead time. And as with most of my projects, I want it cheap and immediate. So, no go. But long story short, I think I have a design that can work. It's super compact, easy to service, and if it doesn't work, I can easily remove it or modify it. So the basic design is an array of S-shaped channels that the air has to flow through in order to be exhausted by the machine. And any heavy particles hopefully can't make this turn, and they'll hit the wall, slow down, and drop onto the ground. And this design is also really nice because I can make it by buying some kind of tube and just slicing it in half, and I have my S-shaped channels, so it's very easy to manufacture. I have some comically large steel particles and an air gun, and hopefully we can get an idea of what this thing will hopefully do. So the particles go around, strike the wall, slow down, and then get caught in this side. How would you like to see a shot-by-shot video of me trying to figure out how to slice tubing in half? That sounds terrible to me as well, so we're just gonna skip that. Here's the cut tubes. It worked out really nicely. 1 tube sliced in half results in 1 bend of the assembly. Although unfortunately I didn't notice that until after. It already cut tall and short tubes to be sliced. But that's how it goes. Now I know what you're thinking. Only an imbecile would make this out of PVC. On the charge of imbecile, I have no comment. But as for the PVC, I agree you definitely don't want burning PVC. If it burns, it's really terrible. Fortunately, we live in the 21st century, and they've invented alchemy. Even more conveniently, it comes on a roll. This is adhesive aluminum, and I can use it to give the PVC a protective metallic shell. This should mostly protect it from instantaneous burning by metal particles. And I'm okay with this because it's under a baffle, so it's not going to be directly receiving molten steel. There's also 2 gigantic fans next to it, whose sole purpose is to suck fumes out of the process. The Plasma cutting actually produces vaporized steel, which you do not want to breathe. That's the main point of the downdraft. If it burns a little bit, it'll just get sucked outside, so that's okay. And then if all else fails, I have a fire extinguisher. I'm okay with this as an experiment. If it works, I'll make it out of sheet metal or tubing or something like that. So here it is all assembled. Certainly not the prettiest thing in the world, but it'll do for the test, and it's a lot better than breathing, burning PVC. I made this little steel frame to hold it all together, and so I can screw it into the plasma cutter. I'm pretty sure it'll get sucked into the fans if I don't have it bolted down. Here it is installed in the downdraft. It's nice that it's essentially a cartridge that I can load through the access door for servicing it and basically taking it in and out. So let's give it a try. Here it is cutting without the separator, lots and lots of sparks, and here it is with the separator. I'm still getting a few sparks, but it's greatly reduced. Now, I know what all the engineer nerds are gonna say. Oh, you just greatly reduced the airflow by introducing this obstruction, so it's not actually filtering, it's just not really working anymore. I work with a lot of engineers. I know how to settle this score. Data. I have an anemometer, which measures wind speed. Now, this is a pretty good measurement of flow rate for these fans because the hole through them is a fixed size. You can kind of think of it as shooting out cylinders of air continuously at a speed. So if it's shooting out cylinders of air at the same speed, then it's the same flow rate. And so I'm going to get some measurements with this and we can compare the filter to stock. Measuring the airspeed with the stock machine, I'm getting 5.5 meters per second. Plugging this in for the cross-sectional area of the fan gives me about 1,000 cubic feet per minute, which is off by a factor of 2 or 3, so I'm a little hesitant to trust this number, but I hope that the meter's at least consistent between readings with different setups. If I run the fans on high with the stock with no filter, I get at 7 meters per second, which is about 1,200 cubic feet per minute. Installing the filter and running it on high, I get 6 meters per second, which corresponds to about 1,000 cubic feet per minute. So just to summarize all that, I've been running stock ever since I built the downdraft at 5.5 meters per second, and running with the filter on high, I'm getting 6 meters per second, which for the astute among us is more than 5.5. Hopefully that means this will also work great. So let's see if we can quantify how much better it is. I'm gonna do the same cut with and without the filter in place. I have the fans blowing at a calibrated piece of cardboard with a sheet of pressure-sensitive adhesive on it. This stuff is super sticky. And we'll see how much dust we collect with and without the filter. Here's the test running with the filter in the plasma cutter. The tape is on the right side, and you can't really see it, but it's slowly accumulating a bit of a gray material on it. This is whatever's coming out of the exhaust and hitting this. It's running the exact same test with everything in the same position, but without the filter installed. And again, it's hard to see in the video, but there's a bunch of gray material starting to build up on the tape. This should be a pretty good comparison with and without the filter. So here's the results. This is with the filter, this is without. And if we get in nice and close, so we're looking at about 1.5 inch view here. Unfiltered on the left, filtered on the right. And I'm not going to count all the particles, but I'd guess we have less than 5% of the total particles on the right. So definitely an improvement. So overall, it seems like this filter works pretty well. I'm really glad that there's not any filtering elements that I have to worry about clogging up or replacing. In the worst case, I might just have to vacuum it out every once in a while. It doesn't seem like I've lost performance over running it the way that I've been running it. And it was pretty easy to make and doesn't have a big impact on the machine. So I guess the next step is to build it properly with tubing, although I took a look at the aluminum coated PVC and there's not any noticeable damage at all. And I did quite a bit of cutting. Hopefully this was interesting. As always, if it wasn't, I'm not sure why you're watching it. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.